everyone. I was just going through my Facebook memories. I never used to like doing that. Obviously, having been triggered by certain things that I've said in the past on Facebook. Certain parts of my life come back flooding in. Going through your Facebook memories sometimes is a bad thing, but it's quite. Now I can actually look at them and see how far I've come. There's one here, July 14th, 2015, 7 years ago. It says, after 7 months of waiting, finally today is the day my therapy starts. Time to break open this head and see what needs fixing. 7 years, wow. Now, yeah, I've had many relapses in that time. I'm thinking, I'm trying to think back, and it's quite difficult putting things into place when they happened. I can recalling there must have been something that happened just before that 7 months for me to be going into therapy, for the activation of seeking therapy. So I can imagine that I've had a bit of an episode and probably tried to commit suicide. Now, obviously, it's not the first time, and it wasn't the last either. And the last time was, when was it? 2018 was my last suicide attempt, New Year's Eve. But yeah, I've just looking back to see how far I've come. I don't know what I was going to do now. My head's gone. I've just gone back to that suicide moment, and I shouldn't have done. It's just taken me. Let's see, brain shut down. Sorry. It will come back. I did have a whole thing that I was going to do for this video, but now it's gone. But this is what happens, when you do think back on certain aspects of your life. It can be very triggering. Yeah, there we go. We got back on track. Facebook posts, yes. So yeah, something must have happened for this to have been put in place. But yeah, 7 years, and I was scrolling down even further, and this one's actually 12 years ago. So this must have been when I first found out about who my mum was and the sort of things that she was doing to me mentally, and that I've put, please forward all complaints to my mother. After all, I'm her fault. She used to blame me for everything. So I've just shared that on Facebook again. I'll just let you know what I wrote. At least you get the page up. Here we are. Still to this day, she blames me and the rest of the world for many untrue things. What a sad state of mind to have to live in. Never seeing the pain she causes others, or addressing her own mental illnesses. You may think me cruel to refer to her as my egg donor, but that's all she is, but that's all she has ever been. She's incapable of giving love, kindness, compassion, and be nurturing like a true mother. But then her own mother is the same. The generational toxic patterns break with me. I refuse to live up to their toxic teachings and pass them on to the next generations, whether I have given birth to them or not. This is what a genuine mother does. They nurture, not harm, which is true. It's very true. They do nurture, and I am a nurturing person. But yeah, back onto that, the comment, after 7 months of waiting, finally therapy starts today, and I just put a little comment on that to share that memory. Plenty of ups and downs and relapses over the 7 years, but got there in the end. And it really is a daft thing. Is all I needed to do was keep toxic people out of my life, and it was, I got taught that way back then in 2015. That my therapy wouldn't work if I was surrounding myself with toxic people, and they were spot on. That was what was causing my mental illness. That's what was keeping me in that state of fear. And it took me a long time to actually get rid of all these people and figure out who they was. But as soon as I got rid of all of them, and my head started coping again, my life got better. I got better. And now when they come into my life, I'm not so triggered. I still get triggered, but not for so long, you know. I mean, 2010 to 2015, there was a lot that happened, you know. There was many ups and downs. There was a few suicide attempts in between that time. I'd be sectioned. You know, I had to have a proper mental psychiatrist, you know, to talk to a psychiatrist and that. I was in and out talking to them, you know, having a bit of therapy from them. I think 2011, 2012, maybe even slightly before then. 2009 down in Wales, I was sectioned, tried to commit suicide, and I had to stay in a mental hospital for about a week, I think it was, until they thought I was safe enough to go back home, which was daft because they gave me a load of tablets again and sent me out the door. And I was in no fit state to have a full prescription of medications to take back to an abuser, to do it all again, you know, and I flipped. You know, society's a bit fucked up when it comes to shit like that, you know. There are causes for people wanting to commit suicide. There are reasons why people are fucked up in the head. And it is usually to do with everything that's around them, all their influences. And I'm living proof of that, you know, definitely. I mean, I can go back over my posts on Facebook for years and you can see the demise of myself, how much I went into myself. There'd be times where I wouldn't even go on Facebook for months and months and months. Nobody would see me, you know, and then all of a sudden I'd start getting my head back together and I'd start integrating with people again. But then, you know, these toxic people took over again, and, you know, my head had to go back into this pattern of self-destruction, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And it was genuinely because of all these toxic people. And I can't, I know I keep going about this. I do on Facebook, you know, if you're on my Facebook page, you'll see all about narcissistic behaviour and, you know, all these little sort of memes and stuff. But I do the positivity ones as well, you know, the spiritual ones, you know, the be kind to yourself and everything, and self-learning and all that, you know. It's a mixture of knowledge on how to heal. You know, I don't want to ram it down people's throats, but it's because I've healed, you know, and I need to share that with other people, that it's so easy as to just remove toxic people from your life. You may not be able to control your life up to a certain extent, but you can control who the fuck you let into it. You are allowed to walk away from people and not feel guilty, because they're being bastards to you, you know. They make you feel like you're doing something wrong for wanting to help yourself to get away from this sort of thing. You know, but it's because we're here just for their benefit. That's why, you know, that's why they get pissed off. That's why they attack us. That's why they want us to be forced to stay at home and be isolated from everybody. So we're living in our own brains, being trapped by them, you know, doing what they want and taking it out on ourselves. And it's not right, it's horrible, it's evil. Manipulation, coercion, you know, mental abuse. I can deal with physical abuse, I can deal with bruises and scratches and cuts and things like that. I'm not very good with blood, you know, I might pass out or throw up first, but, you know, I get over that. But then again, that's linked to pain as well, you know. Because I'm over emotional with that sort of thing. I feel it on a horribly deep level. You know, I can see an animal get hurt, and I feel it. It's that sickening. You know, yeah. It's very strange. Yeah, it knocks me sideways. I don't like it. I go pale. I either throw up or faint. But that's how I feel on a deep level. But yeah, you have these toxic people around you, and they're forcing this mental state of mind on you, and telling you you deserve it, when you don't. You're the most kindest person, generous person in the world, loving and nurturing and all that, and they take and tell you that you're a piece of shit for doing that. No wonder your fucking head gets fucked up. So it really does benefit you to get away from these sorts of people. Any sort of negative influences. I look outside and you see the happy families, and they're loving. The kids are loved and they're happy and well behaved, and they have no worries. The adults that feel loved between the partnerships, and then you look at people around here as well that it's the complete opposite. They're constantly arguing and fighting. The kids are screaming and they're being told off, and they don't know what they're being told off for. They're just being told to shut the fuck up, and they're getting battered for it, and that's toxic behaviour, and it's mentally damaging to the next generation, and with me, I know I've done bad things, and because of my own mental health and my own lack of understanding of what was going on, I passed on things to my daughter, but I see that she's an empath as well, she has that kindness, she has that knowledge as well of toxic manipulation. She has been trapped a couple of times, but she's managed to get back out of it. She's seen it for what it was and fucked it off, and I was like, yes, well done, Jade. That's the best thing that I could ever have taught my daughter to do. And she's learning, and she's paying attention to that, and she notices, and it's good. But yeah, she's seen a lot of shit that I've gone through, and she's had to live with it. So on that side, I have passed on toxicness to my own daughter, but I have also passed on good knowledge. How to be kind. She's very kind to her friends, loving, and that. She'll do anything for them. Maybe not so much for me because I'm a mum. I don't know if that's like a a parent-kid thing. Your kids will do anything for everybody else, but when it comes to me, I ask you like, oh, do I have to? She's getting better though now. She's yeah. I think since I had the cancer, I think that was a bit of a shock for her. Yeah, it was a bit close to home for her. I mean, she's got her own problems as it is, health-wise and stuff. But to see her mum having to go through that, but also surviving that as well, and also surviving the mental health and coming through that. She's seen a big change in me. I don't think she knows quite how much to take with me now. She used to be very embarrassed about me. She still is sometimes, which I don't blame her. I am that embarrassing mum, but I don't do it on purpose. I do do it on purpose, but as a joke, it's like, it's a parent's right to embarrass a child. But she's growing out of that now. I'm not so much of an embarrassment. She's opening up to me a lot more, which is good. I've always wanted her to be open to me as as mother-child relationship, but I think with everything that was going on with my life, I felt that she had to keep a lot of secrets. I felt I had to keep a lot of secrets from her, which I did have to. You don't want to go and tell your 5-year-old child that you've been abused or things like that. You have to wait until they get to a certain age before you can actually open up about these sorts of things. Even though that they're seeing it, not so much the stuff that I went through as a child, but in relationships with physical abuse and mental abuse. Being punched or, being told that you're worthless and shit like that. And, I don't have to explain it, you know the situation. So yeah, she's lived through all of that. But yeah, she's seeing me move forward, and a lot of my friends are seeing me move forward and being completely different with who I am. I'm seeing so much, a complete change of who I am. I used to be shy as anything. I used to go on Yahoo years ago on the web, but I'd be drunk at the time. I used to hate it. I was very shy. I never wanted to put my camera on or things like that. But yeah, after a few drinks, stick it on and do whatever. But yeah, like since Yahoo went, I got very shy. I didn't like doing like screen calls and things like that. You know, if anybody did message wanted to do a video call on Messenger or Skype or anything like that, no, I'd decline it. No, I used to be very shy like that. But even answering telephone, you know, just even talking on the phone. But now I'm on here, you know, jabbering away like a twat, and it's a completely different me. I don't feel the anxiousness anymore. I don't feel the panic. I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel guilt. And it's because I've not had those negative influences telling me that I'm this, that, and the other. Like you do. And it's good, you know. So when now I get them coming in trying to manipulate me, I can see them for who they are, and I can see the tricks, because they first, you know, that they're all friendly to start. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sorry, blah blah blah, you know, full of apologies or whatever. And then, you know, you just test the water, don't you? You sort of like, okay, blah blah blah, and it is. I test them, because I will bring up something that I know that will tick them off, and they're like, oh well, I've changed. I'm not like that anymore. So yeah, you go in straight away with the blah 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 whatever, the trigger, and it triggers, and it's instantaneous. They go back to who they was. So you know, sorry, I'm trying your tricks again. It's not going to work this time. You're not going to trigger me. I know exactly what you're doing. I know it's not got anything to do with me. It's because of who you are and how your brain works. So I'm just going to turn around and go bye bye. But I do like to give them the chance first. You know, I run a 3 strikes and you're out policy. You know, you can fool me once, all right, yeah, benefit of the doubt. Twice, coincidence, okay, yeah, 3 times you're taking the piss, get out, you know. Maybe I shouldn't even go for the 3 strikes, you know. Maybe it should be what, you know, just a 2 and you're gone. But maybe that's a bit too much, really. Nice little balance in between, I suppose. But it seems to work, you know. Yeah, I'd be honest and open with people on how they come across to me, what they're triggering me with, how they're triggering me, what it does to me. And if they carry on triggering those triggers, then, you know, that's called manipulation. That's called coercion. And if they're trying to make me feel guilty for wanting to protect my own head, then I don't really need these sorts of people in my life, because they're going to make me ill, and they know it. That's what they latch onto. When they know that you're vulnerable, they'll go, oh yeah, let this person open up to you. I'll give them enough love to let them do that, and then I put all this shit on them now. Oh, all their insecurities, all their you know, past pains, all their experiences of toxic partners. I know what their toxic partners control them with now, so I'll control them with it too. I'll make it work, you know, and I'll add a few of my own in, you know, when it doesn't, you know. But they are generally the same sort of toxic patterns, you know, the put downs, you know, the gentle, the little snide comments. You know, oh, you stink, you know, when your mates are around, you know, they don't normally do it, you know, at home, all of a sudden trying to embarrass you in front of your mates, or they put you down when you're outside with your friends, you know. Or that they're polite as anything on the outside to all your friends and that, but then when you're at home behind closed door, they're a completely different person and rip into you, you know. It's all give you silent treatment, or, you know, there's so many different ways of manipulation, but you don't have to learn them all. You just have to spot the obvious ones, you know, the constant arguments, the constant having to defend your name, you know, the constant fact changing, you know, the changing of your own realities, you know. You know something happened and they're telling you it's completely different and it didn't happen, or you said something and you haven't, or you've done something and you haven't, you know. It's a constant state of confusion. And it fucks your head up, it really does. I can't stress that enough. You know, it did for me. It completely battered my head. to the point where I wanted to kill myself, you know, just to stop the torture. And I do believe, you know, that is the final straw of trying to make the pain stop, is to try and take your own life. And to have somebody willing to do that, you know, it's the same. It's the same as a premeditated murder, really, isn't it? You know, you tell somebody how much they're destroying you, and if they carry on, it's going to, you know, make you want to take your own life. You know, that's how your brain is going to be affected. And for somebody to carry on and get you to that stage, you know, they're doing it, and they know that they're doing it. It is like just you may as well just give somebody their life. You know, there you go, kill me off. You're doing it with words, and that, you know. Yeah, just swap it for a knife, like, you know. You know, it is. It's just like somebody coming and stabbing you in the heart, but you know they're stabbing you in the head with words, and making you do it yourself. It's self-hate, you know, self-belief that you're the one that's to blame for everything, because you do. You take the weight of the world on your shoulders because you do feel that you don't do anything right, because it's make you believe that, and it's horrible. But yeah, 20 minutes is gone. Bloody hell. I've been stuck in a little time warp there. I thought there was only like about 10 minutes. I am ever so sorry. But yeah, Facebook memories. You've just seen how far I've come. And just the simplicity of removing toxic people from your life. It makes all the difference. It makes so much difference to healing, being able to be the person that you're meant to be, without all these horrible influences that just want to manipulate you for their own gain. I do urge anybody that's in that situation, please have the strength to get out of it. It's not going to get any better. They're not going to change. The only person that's going to change is you, and it's for the worst. You know, you could be the most happiest, loving person in the world, and have somebody come and destroy that, make you think that you're the most worst, horriblest person in the world, and it's not worth it. It really isn't, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's getting fucked up with it. They don't care, you know, they're not going through the same things as you are. They may say that they are, you know, they're just mirroring what you're going through, trying to make it their own story, you know, it's a toxic behaviour. But yeah, I just feel so strongly that this is the way forward for this earth, to get rid of negative thoughts, negative patterns, negative people. Well, not get rid of them, but, you know, remove them from your life. If it was a serial killer, you know, that had been in prison, and you know, you'd moved in with them, you'd expect it. You know, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't put yourself in that danger. Toxic people just haven't got the knife. Well, some of them do, yeah. In the end, you know, some of them can. They can be very, very violent, and you know, and kill people. And this is it as well. It's not just you taking it out on yourself and killing yourself. That, you know, there are dangerous people out there that will take it out on you and kill you. So you have to be very careful, very careful. But some of them are that covert that they just do it with words and actions, and they don't need any sort of weapon to do that but themselves. And it's horrible. Anyway, I'm gone off again. Thank you everybody for your likes, subscriptions, and your beautiful comments and all your support. It's just amazing. If you know anybody that might benefit from this channel, and if you feel safe enough to do it, please share. Don't tag anybody in it. Also, if you don't feel the need that you have to share, you know, if you don't like going on social media or anything like that, you know, you don't have to share. But yeah, if you can, just share it to your own news feeds, or put it in your own playlist or something, you know, so it comes up, or even just play it once so it comes up on your, you know, Friends or whatever it is, because you know all these algorithms and stuff. You start watching, like, it's like my daughter was here watching some of her music and that, you know, showing me some of her tunes, and it's completely different to mine. Hers is all the scream of you know, the emo sort of hard metal stuff. Completely opposite to me. But yeah, since she's done that, I get it popping up everywhere now. So, you know, the algorithms do that, don't they? But also, you know, like sharing, when you share on Facebook and stuff like that, the algorithms will copy what you're sharing. So if you're sharing negative stuff all the time, depressing stuff all the time, it'll start popping up on your feed, more and more of it. And you get targeted by depressing stuff, all these bad things going on in the world, all this and that, and you know, it's horrible. So when you start sharing good stuff and positive stuff, you also have positive stuff come back at you. Um, I've tried and tested it myself, and it's funny because I've noticed that, like, my daughter, she was sharing, and her friends sharing a lot of depressing stuff, and that, and even some of my friends sharing depressing stuff, and I started sharing positive stuff, and then it took like a few weeks maybe, and you could see the positivity coming in. You know, the posts changing, um, just what they was putting out. It was quite good to see. Yeah, I know it comes back again, so I post more positive stuff, so they get flooded with positive stuff as well. So it's what you see. It goes into your brain subconsciously. You might not realise it, but it does. Sharing negative stuff, you get negative stuff back off all platforms. You share the positive stuff, you get positive stuff flooding in for you to watch and everything like that, you know, and it brings your spirit up. Yeah, it's the power of media, isn't it? You know, and power of influence. But yeah, thank you everybody for just watching and your support. It's just amazing, and get the word out about toxic people and the impact it has on people. Because I think that's our way forward. And I know that there's many of us that are trapped in relationships, partnerships, and friendships, but we do have that choice to just walk away. And in this day and age, there are plenty of organisations that will help you. Just ask for the help. It's out there for you. You've just got to make that step. You don't have to live with such traumas, such atrocities. You don't have to put up with it. You have that choice to walk away. Please do, please do. It will be the best thing you've ever done. It was the best thing I ever did for my recovery, definitely. It's quite mind blowing, really. Very much so, and I do hope that if you are in this sort of situation, toxic situation, I do hope you might have the strength to get out and to heal. Sending you lots of love and lots of healing. Bye bye everyone.